What up, what up, what up, what good, what good, what good? It's your boy. We back with another one trying to get it in. We ain't gonna hold you too long. This one right here. I watched this before. Well, I ain't watched it before, but I've seen something about this case. I haven't really checked into it, but we're gonna get to it. I ain't gonna hold you too much longer. Rock. Oh! It's a dude standing right there. And apparently this person was in the truck recording. Is that a guy at the getaway car? Has people lit off the playground?
Look, he hit that. Oh, there's a baby in the car, man. What the
Oh,
hell? They shot it up. This is like shit. Who did? Hey,
man,
stuff on the
they
house.
busted
I
up
mean, he
too.
did.
Man, they towed his car up,
The
boy.
cell phone footage starts shaky. Someone driving home from work, a regular Wednesday, 1:25 in the afternoon. Then the frame steadies. Three figures, dark clothes, masks, walking, not running, toward a white Chevy sedan parked near a stop sign on the 7900 block of South May Street, Auburn, Gresham,
What that girl do to
Chicago.
y'all, bruh? What she do y'all lit her up like that? Baby in the car?
They raise long guns. And for the next 9 seconds, the audio is something you feel in your chest.
Bro,
Round after
DayLight.
round after round, over 50 of them, into a car where a 13-month-old girl is strapped into her car seat in the back,
15 months?
holding a lollipop. When the gunfire stops, there's a gap, maybe 2 seconds. The shooters turn. They jog back toward a red Alfa Romeo idling nearby. But they don't leave. The Alfa Romeo pulls forward, lines up in front of the sedan, and they fire again, more rounds, into a car that's already destroyed, into a car where a mother is already dying. Then they're gone. The baby is crying. The lollipop
Man.
is still in her hand. Shell casings are sitting inside her car seat. She doesn't have a scratch. Her mother, Gabryal Ayers, 26 years old,
That's good. They ain't hit the baby one, man. They tore her up. They tore her up, man. Thank God the baby's still alive, though, man. Ain't nothing hit that baby. Dang.
is slumped in the passenger seat with bullets through her body. That footage went viral in hours. This is the file on what happened before and after those 9 seconds, and what investigators found when they started pulling threads.
That's what I want to know. Like, what happened, like, for them to light her up like that? Man.
Gabryal Ayers was last seen alive at approximately 1:24 p.m. on Wednesday, February 4th, 2026, South May Street, Auburn Gresham neighborhood, Chicago, Illinois, sitting in the passenger seat of a
Oh,
white
no.
Chevy sedan. Her boyfriend, 27-year-old Devin Draper, known online as Rico Suave, was driving. Their 13-month-old daughter
I bet you this nigga got something to do with her getting killed. I bet you he got something to do with this baby losing her mama, man.
was buckled into a rear-facing car seat behind them. 1 block from St. Sabina Church, middle of the day, food pantry volunteers were working the corner. Families were home.
They still do
Kids
that
were
back at
around.
home, the food pantry?
60 seconds later, Gabby, that's what everyone called her, was bleeding out in the front seat of a car. Everybody watching that footage asks the same thing. Who are the 3 men in masks? Wrong question. The right question is shorter and uglier. How did they know where to find that car? Because 3 men don't step out of a vehicle with long guns in coordinated positions at 1:25 in the afternoon on a residential street unless they already know exactly where their target is sitting. This wasn't a patrol. This wasn't a hunt. They drove straight.
I ain't gonna cap. I'm trying to figure out all of that. Like how they pull up on her like that so fast and so quick, like they knew already. But how? How am I?
To the spot. According to unconfirmed reports circulating online, Devin Draper may have posted his location on social media shortly before the shooting. Think about that for a second. If that's true, and investigators are reportedly looking into it, then the killers didn't search, they scrolled.
Boy, if you posted your location and them boys was already looking for you, my boy, man, that's why I'll probably take pictures like while I'm there in the moment of it and post that shit after I'm gone. I'm not posting nothing while I'm still right there. I don't know what you niggas on there, especially if I know I got options people that's looking for me. Like I'm not posting no location, period. I ain't sharing no location with no nigga. What? Oh, they're
A
dropping the ass.
tagged location, a pinned post, a digital breadcrumb that turned a Wednesday afternoon into an ambush. But here's where it gets messier, because the question after how did they find him is who wanted to find him? And the answer to that lives in a social media trail that goes back over a year. We'll get to that. First, the woman they killed. Gabryal Ayers, 26, hairstylist, ran her own salon on the south side. Clients said she made them feel good. Neighbors said she was sweet. Her godfather...
Nah, she was self-made, trying to do good. Trying to do right. Bet you something do with this nigga. It's already said he dropped the location or accidentally dropped the location. Man, look, bro.
Kirk Bell said she loved that baby more than anything on earth. She wasn't flashy. She wasn't running anything. She was cutting hair during the day and training to become a letter carrier, postal service, government benefits, steady paycheck. That was the plan. Stability, a future for her kid. In December 2024, she had her daughter. From that point on, every post, every photo, every decision pointed in one direction, that little girl. December 20th, 2025, Gabby threw her daughter a first birthday party, posted about it, called her the prettiest girl in the world. 46 days later, Gabby was bleeding out in the front seat of a car, and that baby was sitting 3 feet behind her, covered in shell casings. Before we go deeper into the evidence trail, I want to know where you stand. Based on what you've heard so far, type inside if you think the threat came from within Gabby's personal circle. Type outside if you think she was caught in someone else's war. Drop it below. We'll revisit this at the end.
I ain't gonna cap. I feel like she got caught up in somebody else's mess and she just the innocent person that got hit, man. Be honest with you, like I don't that's man, that's crazy,
Let's
bro.
slow this down, because the details matter more than the volume. The vehicle. The shooters arrived in a red Alfa Romeo. Not a Honda, not a rental sedan, an Alfa Romeo. That's specific, that's identifiable. And investigators have it on camera pulling up and pulling away. Either these men didn't care about being tracked, or they were confident nobody would talk. Both options tell you something. The approach. 3 men exit. They don't rush. They walk to the white sedan and take positions around it. Multiple angles. This is geometry, not chaos. They knew what they were doing. The first volley. Long guns, not handguns. The witnesses who heard it from blocks away described it as continuous, like firecrackers that wouldn't stop. Over 50 rounds based on the shell casings and evidence markers Chicago PD later documented at the scene. The sedan lurched forward from the impact and crashed into a parked GMC van. The van driver, just some person sitting in their car, climbed out unhurt and refused medical treatment. Wrong place, nothing else. The second pass. This is the part that separates this from everything else. After the initial barrage, the three men ran back to the Alfa Romeo. It pulled forward, positioned itself in front of the wrecked sedan, and they fired more rounds into the car. That's not a shooting, that's a confirmation. They came back to make sure. The baby, 13 months old, rear-facing, car seat intact. 50-plus rounds went through that vehicle from multiple directions, glass blown out on every side, metal frame shredded. Shell casings were recovered from inside her car seat, inside it, resting against the fabric next to her body. She was holding a lollipop when a witness pulled her out, crying, alive, 0 injuries. Devin Draper, Rico, took 2 rounds, 1 in the arm, 1 in the buttocks. He was conscious when paramedics arrived, taken to Christ Medical Center in Oak Lawn, listed in good condition, expected to recover. Investigators believe Rico was the intended target. But here's the thing about 50 rounds fired into a car from 3 angles. You don't get to choose who they hit. Gabby wasn't the target. She caught the worst of it anyway. The baby wasn't the target either. She caught nothing. The math on that doesn't make sense. The physics of it doesn't add up. And yet,
after the shooting, people did what people do. They went to social media, they dug, and what they found didn't solve the case, but it painted a picture that investigators can't ignore. Let's walk the timeline. February 14th, 2025. Almost exactly 1 year before the shooting, Rico posted about texting Gabby to FaceTime him with their daughter. He said she took 3 hours to respond. When she finally called, he claimed she was getting messed up. His post escalated. He wrote that if anyone even played like that, he was going to put 300 rounds all across them and her. 300 rounds, his words, about the mother of his child. Gabby responded in the comments, "You take me down, you know I'm coming back." Someone tagged Rico and wrote, "We fin end her." Rico replied, "She thinks it's a game. Then, she's counting her days. She will not get a second chance to do this." Read that one more time. She will not get a second chance. That was February 2025. November 21st, 2025, Gabby posted that she was going to share a photo of someone's deceased brother in a casket. The comments exploded. A woman warned that Rico and someone else were going to handle it. Someone asked if Gabby's people were getting dragged out of a car going on a mission. Gabby's response, "My brother got left on a hit." That same day, she posted she didn't care about people sharing her address because she was moving. Moving. She was trying to leave. December 27th, 2025, Rico posted, "Long live 3Ski. Consequences happen every time your name is mentioned." A memorial post, but the word consequences does heavy lifting in that sentence. February 3rd, 2026, 1 day before the shooting.
Man, don't tell me this nigga say his baby mama or bruh.
Rico posted, "You cowards, free Marley, free Demon." Confrontational, public, pointed at specific people. February 3rd, 2026, same day, Gabby made her last post, a repost. It read, "I stay humble because I've seen people laugh at somebody, then turn around and become the same thing they joked about." That was the last thing Gabryal Ayers ever shared with the world. February 4th, 2026, 1:25 p.m., 50 rounds, 3 shooters, 1 dead mother. February 4th, 2026, 5:58 p.m., 4.5 hours after Gabby bled out in the front seat, Rico posted, "Don't put me last knowing I'd be the first one to risk it all for you." The detective saw that post. Everybody saw that post. Was that grief? Was that defiance? Was that a message to the people who just tried to kill him? I'm still here. I'm still dangerous. Or was it something else entirely? Shortly
I
after
don't
the
know.
shooting, someone else posted,
That sounded a little conflicting right there, cause you just told her that you put 300 rounds over her and whoever else. So, like, that's conflicting right there. I don't even count, my
they
boy.
just tried to end my cousin. God got him though. Rico Suave, love you still here. Rico survived. Gabby didn't. And people online started asking the uncomfortable question that the investigation hasn't answered yet. How did Rico walk away from 50 rounds with 2 wounds while sitting in the driver's seat, the most exposed position in the vehicle? This is the part that's burning up comment sections across
No, he
every
was in the
platform covering
car.
this case. It's not just the shooting, it's what came before and after. The 300 rounds post, a man threatening the mother of his child publicly a
Right.
year before she's killed by gunfire. The comments under it, we fin end her, treated like banter, like it was nothing, like words don't become receipts. Rico's post 4 hours after the murder, not grief, not shock, a cryptic flex that reads like a man reminding people he's still in the game. And the confrontational post the day before, you cowards, aimed at unnamed people, uploaded publicly, while his girlfriend and their baby were apparently still in his orbit, still riding in his car, still sitting in the blast radius of whatever war he was broadcasting on social media. People are furious, not just about the shooters, about the recklessness, about a man who allegedly knew he was a target and still had his girl and their baby in the passenger seat and the back seat of his car
You
at
ain't supposed to have nobody in the car. And when you gang banging like that, you got ops, you can't live no normal life, my nigga. You can't do normal stuff. And you definitely can't have a car that they know you in as an everyday job. Like my nigga, that's stupid. You got that girl killed, bruh.
1:25 in the afternoon. One commenter put it plain. Why are you allowing your girl and her baby to get in your car when you know people are looking for you? The detectives haven't said whether Rico is cooperating. They haven't said what he knows. They haven't said whether the posts matter to the investigation. But the internet isn't waiting for detectives.
This file isn't closed. It's barely open. If you want to follow this case as it develops, new evidence, new arrests, new details from the investigation, this is where we track it. Consider joining the file series. We open a new one every week. No noise, just the records. When the daylight faded away on a cold evening in the
Man.
city of Chicago on the 7th of February, 1919, hundreds of people flocked the intersection of 79th and May. They came quietly. Some held candles, some held photos. There were others who had nothing but sadness. The story was told in the corner itself. 3 days after the shooting, evidence markers were still spread over the pavement, little
Alex,
numbered
man.
reminders that the bloodshed was not of a dream. It happened here, recently, not too far out of touch. Pamela Bosley stood close to the curb looking at the crowd. She co-founded the organization Purpose Over Pain, an organization that consists of parents who lost their children due to gun violence. This was not her first vigil. It was not her second or 10th. She talked as if she had been taught how to endure intolerable loss and be able to stand on her feet. She reminded the audience that it is not accidental tragedy. These are patterns, predictable, repeating, preventable.
Definitely
She said
pattern.
that these are our children getting killed. Without a change, everyone would be at a picket line at some point. It was not a slogan, it was a warning. Adrian Swanigan Williams was present also. Her son, Tremaine Henderson, was killed with a gun in 2017. That loss has not been blunted by time. It has merely taught her to coexist along it. She did not refer to Gabby as a headline or victim, but as an individual, sweet, loving, a mother who was trying. One of the hairstylists was constructing something with herself and her child, one who had plans stretching past tomorrow. She clarified that it was not only about death, but stolen futures, about work unfinished, the topic of growing up with memories and no parents. Kirk Bell, the godfather of Gabby, was a few steps away, and he was too tired to talk, and his voice was hoarse with asking the same question many times over. He requested it to all the cameras, all the reporters, all those who bended over and spoke into a microphone. Why will you be shooting at a car when you are sure that there is a child in the car? He did not put it in a rhetorical form. He was seeking reason, explanation, something that could have made sense out of the meaningless. No one answered him, since there is no answer that will not put itself to the ground. City leaders came. Brandon Johnson, mayor, talked of the soul-tearing Chicago. State Senator Willie Preston referred to the shooters as monsters and cowards. The scene was an obvious demonstration of strength and determination when the 6th District Commander of the Chicago Police, Andre Poston, conducted an outdoor roll call at the scene. Blood had been days ago where uniforms were. Radios crackled. Cameras rolled. There were words, vigils, waving like candles on the black, carefully written speeches, promises of action, calls for unity. The accustomed scene was reenacted, nearly in the same way it has been reenacted so many times before. And when the crowd started to disperse, when the candles lit, and people began to go home gradually, one thing did not change. 3 gunmen remained on the loose. The turn at 79th and May quieted down again, without a decision being made on it. The markers of evidence would be ultimately eliminated. The news trucks would leave. The city would pass on to the next emergency. Yet to the families who were there, to the parents who could see themselves in the story of Gabby, this was no conclusion. It was the second chapter in the endless cycle that repeats and repeats, needs to be listened to, needs to be changed, and far too often, all they can reply with is silence.
As of the last update on this file, no arrests. Area 2 detectives are leading. Here's what they're working with. Surveillance footage from multiple buildings capturing the full attack. Cell phone video from a civilian witness. Ballistic evidence from 50-plus shell casings. The red Alfa Romeo on camera, arriving and leaving. 3 suspects in dark clothing with masks and long guns. Cook County Crime Stoppers put up $10,000 for information. St. Sabina Parish matched it. $20,000 total. But this is Auburn Gresham, a neighborhood where people know that talking can make you the next vigil, the next file. Here's what sits with me about this case. And it's not the 50 rounds. It's not the masks or the Alfa Romeo. Those are the loud parts, the parts that trend. It's the lollipop. A 13-month-old baby sitting in a car seat, holding a lollipop, while her mother bleeds out 3 feet in front of her. She can't process what happened. She doesn't know what death is. She just knows the world got loud and scary, and the person who always picks her up isn't moving. That baby is gonna grow up with a viral video of the worst moment of her life circulating on every platform. Strangers will dissect it for content. Comment sections will argue about who's to blame. Thumbnails will use her mother's car as clickbait. And she'll have photos instead of memories, stories instead of arms around her, a permanent silence where her mother's voice should be. Gabby was 26. She was cutting hair. She was training for the Postal Service. She was trying to build something steady and small and real for that little girl. And on a Wednesday afternoon, while sitting in a car near a church, all of it ended because she was next to the wrong person at the wrong time. Or maybe not the wrong time at all. Maybe the exact time someone planned. The last record is never the full truth. Gabby's final post was about staying humble. Rico's final post before the shooting was a taunt aimed at unnamed enemies. The surveillance footage shows the last seconds of a life.
But none of those records explain why 3 men with long guns decided a baby in the back seat wasn't enough reason to stop. That answer is in a phone somewhere, in a group chat, in a conversation between people who know more than they've said. Maybe in a post that hasn't been screenshotted yet. This file stays open. One last thing. Think about the posts you scroll past every day. The threats that look like jokes. The beefs that sound like noise. The locations people tag without thinking. Have you ever looked at someone's timeline after something happened and realized the signs were all there? Drop that below. Not for engagement, for the conversation that actually matters.
Yeah, that's a sad case, man. It's crazy that the girl had to die like that. Her boyfriend was on some stupid shit. That definitely show how important it is to watch who we're dealing with or who we're around. And once we realize that they are not on the same page as us, we got to get from around them. Got to get from around them so you could be able to live and do what you're trying to do for yourself. But these folks don't care. Like they don't care. They're not gonna care. It's your boy.